And good evening. Welcome back to another show of Covers Off.
Hi, Con. Good evening. Yeah, thank you.
I know how difficult it is for you covering multiple games and also carve some time out to come on these shows. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem at all.
So let's talk about yesterday's magic straight away.
Yeah,
Norris, what a weird call that was.
yeah. I think the Taran one. Yeah, the thing was the pace options that Delhi Capitals had, Shika Pandey, and even the spin options. They didn't have a lot of opportunities in the opposition. So if there is someone who is going to make a difference in that 11 as a bowling option, it was always going to be Taran. And fortunately for her, she didn't pick up one or two. She ended up picking 5 wickets.
How brilliant was that? I'm so proud that she's from an associate nation, that too from US, and she was brilliant. At a point, she was even on a hat trick.
Yeah, this is something that we had discussed on our show as well. Tara Norris, even though she may not be from any of the mainstream cricketing nations, she has a lot of experience playing in England domestic circuit in leagues like the 100. She has played against top class players in the past, and that kind of showed up for the Delhi Capitals in the last game.
I mean, that's the differentiator, right? Because you have that information, but an average cricket fan does not, like me.
Yeah, I think Tara Norris was only selected by 1% of total managers that played the fantasy game yesterday. So if you just even if your captain and vice captain flopped, as long as you had Tara Norris, you ended up profiting from the game.
I mean, isn't this the reason why you started covers off to make subscribers like Manoj happy?
Exactly, yes. As a professional fantasy player, as someone who has been playing a lot of fantasy games over the last few years, this is something. These are the kind of information and data that I wasn't getting. So this is something that I've repeated oftentimes in our podcast and shows. That if you're not getting something that you want, there is only one way out. You'll have to do it yourself.
And look at what he says in his next tweet. He has lost 10 times and he watches your fantasy masterclass and subscribes to covers off. And just with one win, he has recovered the previous 10 losses.
Yeah, I think this is the only practical way to play something like daily fantasy. In season fantasy, it's different, where consistency matters a lot more. As far as daily fantasy is concerned, every win should be equal to compensate for at least 3 times the losses that you make, because every win is 3x your investment. If you're putting in 10K a game, you should be able to get 30K in return. If you're not doing on your good days, if you're not getting that, you're playing daily fantasy wrong.
It's very interesting to see even Dream 11 does not have the mugshot image of Tara Norris, but you have
Yeah.
who you know and who Tara Norris is, and then one of the subscriber picks her in the 11 and gets 153 points
Yeah,
and wins big.
it seems like only Taran or only Meg Lanning, and we were confident about picking Taran Harris yesterday. There was this story around going that the coach wasn't interested in picking her, but Meg Lanning stressed on having Taran Harris in the lineup, and that kind of changed things for her.
And again, goes to show the experience Meg Lanning has,
Yeah.
playing, the 100 and WPL. And, that insight is what makes a differentiator and a captain.
Yeah, he does. I think Jim McGlanning understands the value of left arm paces in women's cricket in particular, because this is not the advantage that most teams have, and you don't generally do not find a lot of left arm paces in the women's game. So to have one could make a lot of difference.
Yeah, towards the end of Delhi's innings, you had Heather Knight trying to exploit that angle.
Yeah.
Uh, Usually, that would be the line a left-hand bowler would bowl, and she was making it a little difficult to score.
Yeah.
I think immediately Delhi picked up a lot of insights from Heather Knight's spell and used their McLaren used her bowlers really really smartly.
Yeah, it's something McGlanning may be a difficult captain as far as fantasy users are concerned, because at usage of ballers are very difficult to predict, but she gets the job done for her team.
Again, the other game, how good was Kim Garth again coming in from Ireland, picking up 5 wickets. She was also on a hat trick at one point, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, she could not get her team over the line.
Yeah, it was no surprise that as soon as Kim Gart made herself available for Australia, and Australia picked her in their World Cup squad. So that says a lot. She was representing Ireland, and the entire cricketing world saw her skill set. The way that, yeah, she was able to move the new ball. So she made the switch. Australia expressed interest. She made the switch to Australia. There's a lot of BPL experience. In the case of Tara Norris, it was 100. For Kim Garth, even more experienced player. She has played a lot of BBL games, and that kind of again came in handy for the team, even though they weren't able to win the match.
So, given the success of Tara Norris, Kim Garth, even Nissi Wong, she did not pick up many wickets, but just 3 overs for just 7 runs.
Yeah.
UP Warriors almost missed the trick by not picking up Shabnam Ismail.
They did. Even though the replacement kind of played an innings of a lifetime and managed to win the match for UP Warriors, if they had Ismail, they wouldn't have had to chase 170 on a deck that was supporting world class paces. Ismail would have made it really difficult for the Indian players in that Gujarat Giants team that had a lot of impact against someone like Harleen Deol or against someone like Dayal and Hemalata. The extra pace could have troubled them, and they could have got the opposition dismissed for something like 140, which is enough for which is enough for a batting unit without Grace Harris to chase it down.
Again, Meg Lanning, bringing up Alice Capsey to bowl out at Smriti Mandana. That was a smart move.
Yeah, this is something that we were expecting to happen as well. One of the reasons why we had Alice Capsey in our 11, again, a player who was only owned by 15 to 20% of managers, and that kind of played an important role why we clean swept this game.
Yeah. And do you think that they missed the trick by sending Heather Knight so low down in the order?
Definitely, it's not just Heather Knight; it's also Richa Ghosh. A lot of time was wasted by playing the Kasat in the at number 4. I guess this was the time that's important. When you're chasing a score something like 220, 230, you should always be you should always have your foot on the accelerator. That's just something they missed. Ellis Perry is not someone who could score, who could get you 20 ball 40s, but Richa Ghosh or Heather Knight, these are the type of players who could really turn the game on the opposition at that point. And with Ellis Perry securing the other end and launching at the depth, it could have been a different story.
I was noticing that Disha Kasat, anything that was bowled full, she was not very comfortable to take it on, but she could play the short balls better.
Yeah. She does seem to have quite some talent, and not just Kasset, even the other local players that RCB bowl, they all seem to have some kind of talent in them, which explains why they are in the 11. But in a chase of 220 against a bowling lineup like that, they needed the international players to come into the game a lot earlier than they did yesterday.
Yeah. And against Smriti Mandana, we talked about how she got out in the semi-finals in the World Cup. Again, yesterday she was not playing her natural game. If you looked at Manning and Shafali Verma, they were really working the field and the gaps and playing normal cricketing shots. But Smriti was given that stiff target they were chasing. She was not looking her usual self.
Yeah, she was
playing the natural game and timing the ball instead of that she was trying to do the pickup shot and trying to scoop the ball, in which she got caught by Shikha Pandey.
Yeah, not for nothing. They talk a lot about the scoreboard pressure. It does funny things to even the great players of the game. And considering they were chasing 220, Smriti Mandana had only one option to throw the kitchen sink at everything that was balled at her.
Yeah. So again, talking about today's game, big game, Mumbai Indians versus RCB. So, given how the opening batsmen have been scoring heavily in the power play, do you think Yastika Bhatia still a relevant option for Mumbai Indians to open with?
I think they are stuck at maybe they could try someone like Amanjot Kaur at the top, but they likely give a couple of more chances to Astika Bhatia, especially because she gives them the left-handed option at the top, and also that the fact that they are winning. So if they start losing, then it could change all of a sudden, because Astika Bhatia has been really struggling over the last few months. Even in the international circuit, she hasn't made a lot of runs, and in the first game it looked really difficult for her to get the ball out of the 30-yard circle.
Yeah, she did, look a little uncomfortable out there. But it was good to see Pooja Vastrakar, back in the field, doing well with both bat and ball. Do you think she will be the differential today?
She's one of the biggest opportunities in the game today, owned by only 25% of managers. Pooja was striker. She also, in the absence of Chloe Tryon, this is something we have discussed in detail in our pack. In the absence of Chloe Tryon, she bats at number six, which is one position higher than she would usually bat in any of the other teams. So her batting time is kind of increased. The potential is increases even there without considering her bowling value. She's one of the better old ball bowlers in the circuit at the moment. So we are potentially looking at 50 to 75 points today, even on an average day.
And how good was Saika Ishak picking up 4 wickets? Do you think RCB has got weakness against slow left-arm orthodox bowling?
RCB are not as vulnerable as Gujarat Giants. There's perhaps one player who could Isha could be a very good option against. I think it's Elise Perry. She has had trouble playing slow left arm spin throughout her career. So that's something that they could look to exploit. But otherwise, I think RCB will play much better than Gujarat Giants.
Yeah, so Mumbai Indians had all their batsmen come good. Haley Matthews, Harmanpreet Kaur, Amelia Kerr, even Natalie Stewart-Brunt. She played a cameo, and she came good with her bowling. Given how she's been finding it difficult with her bowling form, it was
Yeah,
good to see her come on and pick up a couple of wickets
yeah,
up
yeah.
top order.
Yeah, I think the difference was Mumbai Indians used her in the phase that she is usually good at, which is with the new ball. In England setup, there's Catherine Brent occupies that space, and along with Catherine Brent, it's Lauren Bell who bowls the first 3 to 4 overs. So Shiva doesn't get the advantage of the new ball movement that she got yesterday she got on the day one with the Mumbai Indians. So I think they'll continue to use her as a new ball option, which makes her an improved all-round option than many thought she would be builder coming into the tournament.
And I wasn't really aware that Issy Wong could bat. She just smoked that first ball out for a six.
Yeah, AC Wong is something. Even when she burst onto a scene, her batting potential was obvious. She just comes out and starts slamming sixes. So someone, if you could compare it, she's someone like Rashid Khan. If you could compare it to a player in the men's cricket circuit. So the value when you pick her, the value is also in her batting ability.
It's been so far a run feast, and what a pleasure to watch. Posting big totals. Almost Gujarat Giants, ran away with the game. If not for the grace of Grace Harris.
Yeah, Grace Harris has a tendency of doing crazy things, and what a way to start off women's Premier League.
Yeah. So very equally matched teams. Mumbai Indians got a slightly an edge over RCB in the department of pace hitting, but more or less an equally well matched team. So it should be a cracker of a contest.
Yeah, it is. We are expecting a lot of runs today. This is two solid batting units that are going up against each other, and they are capable of taking on anything that's in the opposition bowling unit today. So I think we should see at least 340 runs being scored in the game today.
Yeah, given how the game Delhi and RCB's game went about
Mm.
Brabant Stadium, would be
Yeah.
surprised that again the team that wins the toss wants to bat first.
Yeah, I think Gujarat Giants knew that they had lost a couple of their key players, so it was no surprise that they elected to bat first. It will be interesting to see what these two teams do today.
It'll be interesting to see. So let's quickly look at the matchups. Yashtika Bhatia obviously has reds on off spin and wrist spin bowling, and RCB does have a wrist spinner in their unit, Shobana
Yeah,
Asha.
yeah, and Heather Knight is the one that's handling the off spin role, so they do have two bowlers who could exploit it, and they also have a quality new bowling unit in bowling pair in Megan Shoot and Renuka Singh Thakur.
So would be surprised also to see if the wrist spinner comes into action within the power play itself.
Yeah, it shouldn't
Uh,
be a bad option, especially considering the setup of Mumbai Indians.
So, like you rightly said, Alice Perry has got an Ishak alert.
Hmm.
So she obviously has a weakness against slow left arm orthodox. So we could see Ishak coming into play when Alice Perry is batting.
Yeah, She'll be an important bowler for the Mumbai Indians today because the openers are the team's RCB's best players of slow left arm off spin. If you look at Richa Ghosh, doesn't have a green. Heather Knight, even Heather Knight doesn't have a green, and they also have a domestic player in the middle order at the moment. So even though there is no red, there is still enough opportunities for Ishak to come into play.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see Heather Knight, given the talent she has, back up in the order today.
Yeah, she should at least at number five. I think it's kind of understandable why the RCB have a player of her quality at number five or six because you don't get such experience and such ability down the order in the women's cricket circuit at the moment. But six is too low. They should at least batter at five.
Yeah, I agree. So let's quickly go to the creator notes. Why don't you talk us through it quickly?
Yeah, this is something that we have discussed in detail already. It's a match between two good batting units on a good batting deck, so expect a lot of runs. Pack your team with batters and batting all rounders, and the two players that are going to make a difference today are Pooja Vastrakkar and Sophie Devine. They are owned by only 25% of managers, 25% and 41 percentage managers respectively. And Sophie Devine has looked good with the bat in the last couple of games. She has only batted to 5 to 10 balls, but even in those, she has looked much better than she looked at the start of the World Cup. So it is likely that score of note is not far away, and I wouldn't be surprised if it comes today.
And looking at the fantasy base team of wicket keepers, Richa Ghosh, I really like the way she smacks the ball, but hope she gets enough number of deliveries to bat today. But I know you have the bunch of all rounders. That's been something very refreshing to see in the Women's Premier League and also during the Women's World Cup. There are a lot of all rounders in the team.
There's something the captains have spoken about in the toss as well, that women's cricket generally sees a lot of all-round options. So that's not a problem in the circuit at the moment.
Yeah, between Harmanpreet Kaur and Smriti Mandana, I don't have a favorite. I would like to see both of them get a good score today.
Yeah, I'm not so generous. I just want Harmanpreet Kaur to score because I have her in a lot of my season fantasy teams, and Mandana is in none of them.
Yeah. So let's talk about in-game, in-play predictions. You've been having a great success with it, and there seems to be a clear demand for that. For example, I could be the first subscriber for that. So, is there
Yeah.
any plans to kind of launch that as one of the offerings of covers off in the near future?
We are working on something where we are going to launch it soon. The opportunity here is that we made literally hundreds of predictions now, and we have a success rate of 67 to 70%, which is insane considering we don't even know who is going to bat first or ball first when we make these predictions. And even though we have a good understanding of what the decks are going to be based on the history and the performances of bowling types and batting types that we have, the data that we have, there is nothing that can match the what you see during a match. Sometimes it could be historically a good batting venue, but the deck could be used for the second or third time, so it could become a bowling friendly game. These are opportunities that you can only effectively exploit when you know the outcome of the toss, and when you know what's happening during the game. So this is what we are attempting to cover using this in-play predictions that will be part of the premium plan that we are building for our subscribers, and we'll be launching it soon.
That would be brilliant. Please give me a private shout out once it goes live, and I'll be the first subscriber for that.
Sure, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the end of the show. But before we go, if you want to be as happy as Manoj yesterday, it's very simple. Just go to coversoff.ai, subscribe to the monthly pack. It's as low as 249 rupees. Like I had tweeted a couple of days back, the Ashtika, Bhatia, Haley Matthews, you recover it within the 15 balls before the 15 balls being bowled. So it's a no-brainer. We have Korzov has more and more subscribers coming in and taking the product and sharing their fantastic experience here. I hope all our viewers here, go ahead and give Korzov a chance and subscribe for the monthly pack, and there would be no looking back.
Yeah, that has been the experience for our subscribers so far. So We hope to continue that.
Yeah. So that brings us towards the end of the show. As I promised, I kept it within 20 minutes, Al, so that you can go back to your PSL packs. It's a
Yeah,
crazy day again tomorrow for you, two PSL games. But hopefully, this matches will end in the next 2 weeks when PSL
yeah.
gets wrapped up.
Yeah, in IPL, it's usually funny. IPL is the biggest tournament, but IPL is where we are more relaxed than we'd usually be because you only have one or two matches, one matches on most days, and two on some days. That's all.
And IPL is so big, so marquee that when IPL is going on, there's no other cricket that's going on anywhere else.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's an advantage for us, and it also starts late in the day, so you have plenty of time to do all of these things that we're doing at the moment. And no doubt that we are expecting to it to be the best tournament that we have covered so far. So we're all excited about it.
I'm really looking forward to it. I'm sure so does all the subscribers of Covers Off. I'll
Yeah,
let you go now. Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the games today evening. I look forward to talking to you again tomorrow.
same here, Con. Thank you.
All right, take care then. Bye.
Yeah.